Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel and welcome to DreadFX Tips and Tricks. In today's video we're going to be talking paint and a little recommendation for you beginner guys on some cheap paint that I've sourced, which will be ideal for you lot practicing when you're getting into the airbrushing. As you can see, we've got an easel set up. This is cheap paper. This is like copy paper, A4 copy paper, but it's on a roll, nice and cheap. So I'll just put a bit of masking tape on an easel, and we've got some practice paper just so I can show you the test on this paint. Now the paint we're looking at today is the Hobbycraft acrylic artist paint. This is a thick artist acrylic, so this will need thinning down, but I'll run through the thinning down process on that in a minute guys. So this is £1.60 a jar for a 16ml bottle. You can get the whole range of colours. I've got a yellow, red, white, blue, black, green. I've got some more in the cupboard at the side. So these are the ones we've mixed today. I've mixed the blue, the yellow, the white, the red and the black. Now the way I mixed this was water. We've got some artist acrylic flow improver. I'll leave the links in the description on the bits that I'm using. I've got some cheap lollipop sticks. You can buy these in packs of like 50 for £1, so they're nice and cheap, so use them. I've also got some little plastic cups. These ones I've personally got hold of, but you can get packs of little shot glasses in plastic form. They're ideal for mixing in, so you can buy packs of them nice and cheap, similar to the size of that, nice and easy for mixing small quantities of paint up in, so I'm using them. The actual jars that I've mixed the paint up in, these are actually e-liquid jars. Now if you know anybody that vapes, if you've got a friend that does like vaping, get them to save you the bottles of the e-liquid that they purchase, because these bottles are really handy guys. You've got a tiny little pourer tip, so you can put droplets of paint in nice and easy. You don't get no spills with these, and it stores your paint really well. You've got a screw cap to the top, so they're great little bottles for doing little paint mix sets up like I've got here. I've got my grey scales all mixed in these little jars, and they're absolutely spot on. You can clean them, reuse them, not a problem at all. So that's what I've mixed the paint up in. Now the way I've done this paint mix, I've brought some digital scales, set of digital scales, and basically you get your plastic pot, do that. I first filled one of these up on the scales, press tear, and I filled this up with water to the actual neck there, weighed it, and then I halved it. So I went 50-50, I went half of that measurement number in paint and then topped it half again with water. So I've done 50-50, and then I went in with some flow improver and then put 3 drops of flow improver in the top, and we've got a cracking consistency guys mixed in these of paint. So that's how I've mixed it. I then got some labels, cheap set of labels. You can get these from Hobbycraft. Paint pen, write down your colour on the label and then put another label on the back, and then do your weighing measurements of your paint, how much water, and then just do a little measurement of droplets of flow improver on the back of your bottle. And then when you run out of paint, you can literally clean that out, and you've got your, you know, your paint consistency measurements. You can just mix that paint up again, absolutely bang on every time. So that's how I've done it. The airbrush that we're going to use today is the Creos PS270. I recommend this for an advanced airbrusher and beginner. It's a 0.2 needle nozzle setup, so you can get some good coverage, you can get cracking detail. You've got the MAC valve to the front, which is really handy. So we're going to run this at 25 psi on the main line coming in, and then we're going to dial this down, and we'll see how far we can take this paint with this MAC valve, and we'll just keep dropping the pressure until we get it so there's literally no air coming out. We'll see how good this paint is. So I'll get it set up, put the compressor on, and we'll blast some of this paint that I've mixed, and we'll see what this paint mix is like at 50-50 with 3 drops of flow improver in each one of these on the mix. See you in the next step. Right, I've got the easel set up, we've got the paper there, we've got the Creos airline in and we're running 25 psi. Now the first colour that we're going to go in with is the black, so just give that a little shake. And the thing that I said about these are handy is you've got the tiny little dropper and you can just drop your paint in like that, so you're not spilling anything anywhere. Little blast through, just get the paint in there. Now 25 psi, and this paint performs really well, guys. You can get nice soft shades with it, atomizing really well. Now this is a 0.2 needle and nozzle setup, so it's not a big setup on the needle and nozzle, guys. So that paint consistency at that 50-50 with 3 drops of the flow improver works absolutely spot on. As you can see, we'll drop the pressure down. Now we're probably running about 10 psi, and for your detail, that's getting down, not a problem. Teeny bit of breakup, probably could go with like another drop of flow improver when you're coming down on that psi. That's down even more. So find your sweet spot with your mix, with your air pressure. I would say this runs probably best at about 15-16 on this paint consistency coming down. But it works, guys, it flows. Bring that pressure up again. So that's the black, nice coverage. We'll do a little clear through with water. Because some pigments in paint can be denser than others. You always find with a white, you can have trouble with white when spraying that. All whites seem to be an absolute pain when it comes to airbrushing. The only whites that I find that really flow well are solvent. When it comes to acrylic whites, they always seem a bit finicky to get the mix right. So we've mixed this white exactly the same, and just by pouring that into the airbrush, I know this is going to be thin. As you can see, that's probably not picking that up, but this is more like a transparent white, which I'd prefer doing in acrylic, to go in nice and light, have it flowing nice, and just build the white layers up, instead of trying to go complete opaque straight away with one hit. Just build the white up when it comes to white. Your other colours you can probably hit straight down and get full opaque, but white I would recommend thinning it and just going in light and building the layers up like that. But it sprays, it works, and the nice thing about this paint, it dries down really well and quick. Little bit of air over that, and then you're touch dry, you're good to go. So that's the white. So all these paints that I've done today have been mixed at the same 50-50, and then there are 3 drops of flow improver in each one. Just blast that through with the water. Right, we've gone for a bit of yellow. And again, really nice. The pigment in this one seems like you're doing like a transparent again, but you can get the full opaque. Just do a few passes and you'll get your full opaque. But sprays really nice. Dropping that air pressure down again. And super fine, guys. This paint gets really down, atomizes nice. So you can get your super fine dots, lines. It's not spitting, it's flowing really well, and I've not had any tip dry yet on the tip. We'll just give that a little clean anyway, but there's been nothing so far. So a good paint, it works. At that consistency, it works really well. So that's the yellow. We'll drop the red in. Just give that a little shake. Drop a bit of red and I'll drop that straight over the white, over the yellow. And again, it's thin, so you're not getting full opaque on first hit with the red. But if you go over, you'll build the density of that colour up. But again, flows really, really well. Atomises nice. You're not getting loads of splatters. This is spraying how my golden acrylics would spray. Same sort of flow. Bit more red. So this consistency, I think I've found a good mix to how I'd work at the 50-50. It is thin, so you can start coming down on the pressure for detail. And it's more, like I say, these mix down at this consistency to like getting onto a transparent, not actual full transparent, but they are thin like a transparent. So get your air pressure dialed in. As I say, 15 on this consistency and it works an absolute treat. It really does. It's a nice paint, guys, it works. As you can see, it's working. So that's the red. Blast that through with water again. We'll drop onto a bit of the blue. And the blue. Again, nice mix, flowing nice, it works. Down on the detail. Not a problem. A little bit of spider webbing on that as I've hit that. But that's better, just drop the pressure, get your pressure dialed in at that paint consistency and you are good to go. And as I say, atomises, really nice, it's not spitting. So there you go, guys, there's my little test for you, a little tips and tricks on some paint mixing, on how I did it, weighed it out with some scales, 50-50 mix on the paint and the water, couple of drops of flow improver, and that's the consistency that we've got on this test panel. We did the black, the white, the red, the yellow and the blue, and they've all performed the same. The white came out thinner in that mix, so I think the actual body of the white on the actual paint was quite thin, I think, really, because after that mix it really thinned it down. But I don't mind a white that's really thin. I'll rather have a white that's thin, that's more sprayable, than having a thick white trying to get full opaque on one hit. I'd rather just build the layers up. And airbrushing is all about building the layers up. You've not got to go full in on colour. Just take your colours nice and light. So I think that paint consistency with that paint will give you that nice light approach to when you start painting. You can just start building the layers up with these colours. And as I say, they're nice and cheap, so you're not wasting a lot of expensive airbrush paint. You've got some nice cheap bottles mixed up nice and easy, and it'll just get you practicing, guys. And that's what it's about. Get a brand of paint, have a practice, thin it to that consistency. It works. You've seen it work there with a 0.2 on the Creos. We've dialed the air pressure in. We found a sweet spot of around, I'd say, go in at 25, get a feel for the paint. go in close, have a look at your paint, see what it's doing. If it's spider webbing out with that 25 psi, just start to bring your air pressure back it off. I reckon around 15 on this, on that paint consistency, with that brush dialed in, and you're getting a nice consistent, you're not spider webbing out, it's atomizing nice. When you start coming down on that air pressure, say like 5 psi, that's when it's just slightly starting to struggle. So I would do a little drop of water in with that mix, or another droplet of flow improver, and then you can start coming down on your pressure, dropping it right down, and you'll get the consistency again in your paint. So it's all about, first of all, getting your paint mix right, so 50-50 on that, be bang on for you, and then you can just start dialing in your pressure and having a play, guys. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Hope you've learnt something along the way on this cheap paint, and I hope it works for you as it has worked for me here. And I will see you in the next one, guys. Thanks for watching.